Welcome everyone to this Jaltest Marine demo session. It's going to be a demonstration session, like 30-40 minutes long. It's going to be useful for our potential customers or distributors as well, if they want to send it to their end customers and all that. Okay, so just as you come to one of our trade shows and you come to our booth and you receive a demo there. Okay, so let's start. What is Jaltest Marine? Jaltest Marine is an all makes diagnostics tool. It's all makes in all systems diagnostics tool, not only the engine. As you can see right now, we can combine marine with our commercial vehicle project, ag and off highway. That's from March of 2021. Before that, marine had to come just as a standalone tool, so right now you can combine it if you wish. You know that we have 5 different configurations: the full software kit, which includes inboard, outboard, watercraft and stationary engines. Then we have the boat software kit, which includes inboard and outboard. Then we have only inboard, only outboard and only jet ski, so we can adapt ourselves to the customer needs and budget. Okay, if you purchase only, for example, the inboard package, you want to upgrade in 5 months to the full software package, we can do it remotely without any problem. So let's get started. We have inboard. We have 26 brands at the moment, diesel and gasoline. So as you can see, diesel, we have Caterpillar, Cummins, Detroit, F&N, Iveco, John Deere, MAN, Mercruiser if it's diesel as well, MTU, Scania, we have Steyr, we have VM Motori, Volkswagen, Volvo Penta, Yanmar. Okay, the rest is gasoline. Okay, and also very important brands, okay, like Crusader, we have Ilmor, Inmar, we have Malibu, we have Marine Power, Mercury, Mercruiser, Mercury Racing, PCM, Scarab, Sea-Doo. We have some gasoline inside Volvo Penta and Weber. Okay, let's go to outboards. Everything is gasoline. Evinrude, Honda, Johnson, Mariner, Mercury Racing, Nissan, Selva, 7 Marine, Suzuki, Tohatsu and Yamaha. Then we have watercraft. Obviously it's gasoline, Honda, HSR, Benelli, Kawasaki, Sea-Doo and Yamaha. And we have stationary engines, which are all are diesel. Obviously we have 24 brands here, because online it's a customized brand and model that I did, because they use they buy the engine from another manufacturer, so we can always customize our brand and model. So we have 24 different brands. Caterpillar, Cummins, Detroit, Deutz. I'm just gonna say the most important ones. John Deere, we have Kohler, Kubota, Mercedes, MAN, we have MTU, Perkins, Volvo Penta, Yanmar again. Let's do an example, quick example. Let's go into Inboards. Let's go to Volvo Penta. We have gasolines, okay, and diesels. Let's get into a diesel. For example, a D9. We're gonna see that Jaltest is an all makes all systems diagnostic tool. In this case, is a great example because we have the engine, but then we have the EVC technology. Depending on the vessel we are, it's just going to be one. We have, in this case, for example, BC are as a panel. We have to identify this, and then for example DNE, you have to identify it with the ECM. Now if you click connect, you're gonna access technical releases. Okay, it's like a fictitious system, but you can change parameters and do calibrations following those technical releases. Then we have helm control unit, helm interface unit, come up with train controller, steering system control unit. If we connect, the best thing is to perform a system scan. You click into scan, and that's it. We will tell you what it's included. The best thing you can do is to perform a system scan, so you will know exactly what's inside your vessel. You click scan and that's it. Now the process begins. In just a few seconds we'll know exactly what we have, and also the fault codes that we have per system. That's a important thing. Okay, for example, you can have a view of the whole vessel, the whole systems, we have, and also the fault codes. Let's click into the engine. I'm gonna click connect, and right now we're gonna access the diagnostics menu. You will see, for example, let's start with the fault codes reading. Same thing we saw just before. In this case, we have the trash. We can erase codes if they're non-active. Okay, we have the state of the code. The code we can read, obviously, generic and proprietary fault codes. Number of times we have the situation, description, and then we have two features that are great. One is the free stream data, and the other one is the help and components of the fault. We can tell you what exact components related to the fault code and show you information about the component. Okay, and now as well you can click into wiring diagrams. You can select if it's a 12 or 24 volt system. You click and you will know exactly how that component is connected to the ECM with the wiring diagrams. And you will know also the pinout. That's important. Left and right we have the components, in the middle we have the ECM. You double click and you will access the pinout detail, location about the ECM. Okay, this is very useful. You can always click into show component list. You will see the full list of components that are connected to the ECM. Let's go back to the diagnostics menu. You can clear focus from here. System data, have the ECU data. This is what it has been registered by the manufacturer, brand, hardware, software, etc. Now you can also click into live data selection. We have three ways of seeing live data. You can see right now we have 455 measurements available. You have search engines everywhere in the software. You can select anything you need. Also you can select measurements by groups. Okay, so for example, let's select pressure and temperature, and let's select a couple ones. Okay, so right now we can see the numerical value. That's the first option. Then we have the gauges. This is option number 2, and then we have the graphs. Okay, so here obviously we can select more than just 2 measurements, but in this case I'm just doing this example. You can just put in a increase, decrease. You can just stop, you can go back, etc. Okay, the other way of doing live data, in this case you can perform a C trials with the data recording. You can select up to 24 measurements. You can perform your C trial. You will see if you have your fault codes, when they get active or not, how the measurements were at that specific moment, and you can add some notes. Super useful for all marine technicians, and also for surveyors. We have a lot of customers that are surveyors, so that's very useful for them as well. Let's get into Outboard components. In this case we have preheating relay, and we have system checks. Okay, we have evaluation of the injection, cylinder balance, cylinder compression, cylinder cutout. Let's do an example with cylinder compression. Always when we're doing something, step 1, what we're about to do, some initial information that's super useful. In this case, for example, we're telling you where the flywheel side is. That's crucial to then understand the results. Then this is step 1. We click. This is step 2, initial conditions. We must meet them, otherwise we won't be able to do it, or the results can be wrong. We'll click, and now after pressing continue, turn ignition key to start position and hold it, and the results appear. We have to do it for a few seconds. As you can see, this is guided diagnostics. We tell you step by step what you have to do. Now you click accept, and then you will see the results, the numerical results, or you can also see as a graph. Okay, so that's great. That's up to you how you want to see it. Now it tells you, okay, turn off the ignition for approximately 10 seconds, and that's it. You can use the clock if you want. Okay, now it tells you, do you want to display the results? You can click yes, you can click no, it's gonna be anyway saved under the diagnostics report. Very important, being able to generate reports. Okay, that's super important. Okay, let's get into the parameters. Okay, here we can do injector coding. Okay, that's important, super useful. Same concept. I'm just gonna click cylinder 2. This is the expert mode code. If you want to do something that requires to write on the ECM or an advanced functionality, you need that code. It's totally free. You can request it from your client area in our website, jaltest.com. Okay, again, step 1. That's why I wanted to do another example again. Same concept. What we're about to do, what you need to do this functionality. Let's click into accept. We have step 2, initial conditions. The engine must be stopped. We click check. And now we can just see the parameters and we can validate them. We can modify them. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this process as finished, and it tells you, okay, if we continue, turn off the ignition key and wait for at least 10 seconds before turning it on again in order to reset the control unit. Okay, very simple. You just need to follow the instruction. If you have any kind of situation or doubt, you have our contact details, by phone, by email. We can even perform remote assistance. Okay, customer support is very important for us, and it's part of the Jaltest solution. Okay, so we're done with all the functionalities. Let me do a quick example with the data recorder for sea trials. Again, we can select up to 24 measurements, and we can record up to 30 minutes per session. Okay, let's click into check, and you will start. Okay, you can see if you have some fault codes, you will see your measurements. You can even graph it if you want, see it, with the gauges, and you can add some notes. Okay, for example, notes 1. You can continue with your sea trial. You listen to something or you want to add some notes, notes 2, and that's it. Now you're done. You want to play the results, you can click accept, and that's it. Very simple. Everything's going to be saved in your computer. Okay, now you can click play. You say, okay, now in minute 4 second 30, I have my fault codes popping up. I have my guided diagnostics with the technical information related. I can see the live data. I can also go directly to the notes. Okay, notes 1 or 2. Okay, this is going to be saved in your diagnostics report. Okay, so now we click finish. Yes. Okay, let's exit. Do you wish to save it? I'm gonna click yes, and that's it. Okay, if you want to export the data recording to an Excel sheet, it's mandatory to save the diagnostics report of that same session in order to do it. Otherwise, you won't be able to do it. Okay, so we're done with this example. Let's do something with outboards. Obviously with Mercury. I could choose also Yamaha, but Mercury, I believe it's the #1 gasoline recreational brand. You have all the families. We cover even the V6 and V8. We have a fantastic coverage up to 2020. It's not just the engine. Okay, it's also the peripheral systems such as the DTS. Okay, the TVM, etc. Okay. With the DTS, you can do the DTS calibration. Actually, we have a vlog, super useful, step by step. You have anyway all the information inside. Let's connect into the engine. As you can see, we can connect, for example, to the PCM or PCM G3, depending on the system we are. Same concept. Where is the connector, the details, pinout details, and the cables you need with the part numbers. Okay. If you don't have the cable, you can use this as a plan B. It's the multi-pins, and we give you the exact pin out. Now let's connect, and we're gonna go to the diagnostics menu. It's the same software layout such as with Volvo Penta or any other brand. Okay, same concept. If you click into read fault codes, same thing. You're gonna see the same structure, the state of the code. You have the description and the code. You can clear fault codes, system data. You have the operation data. Okay, trip data reset, engine operation hours, for example. Okay, with all the regions, with the RPM ranges. Okay, also super useful as for surveyors, well, and any other technicians. Live data is going to be the same concept. I'm not going to show it again because it's exactly the same. We can activate components, activate and deactivate these components. System checks, cylinder cutout. We did before, I think it was a cylinder compressor test. Let's do a cylinder cutout, same concept. Step 1, what you're about to do. Step 2, your initial conditions. And then step 3, we're gonna select and do our functionality. Very simple. We have our results. We can select all the injectors if we want, and then we can display the results. Same concept, it's the same thing, brand by brand, model by model. Okay, what else? Parameters, engine location, tachometer, calibration with the adjust the trim limit and trailer mode. And then we have also the data recorder. That's exactly the same as with Volvo Penta and any other brand. Let's click into the Diagnostics report preview so you can see how we offer all the information. You can put your logo in here, your company's information, the user, because you can create different user. Everybody is going to be identified, date, time. You can save this under a specific customer, vessel, and everything we're doing is being saved. Everything, okay, and everything is being saved where GRP model. Okay, that's super useful model. You can connect all your devices and share everything on the cloud for free, so it's a great thing. Even if you have only one computer, if you're sending your information on the cloud, if your computer gets damaged, you won't lose your information because you can then install it on another device, another laptop, and then you can retrieve all the information. Now we have technical information, very useful. Okay, you have also your technical data. Let's just see this option. Pretty much the same concept, brand by brand. Okay, so this is part of the info online. Is a free license that's included on your tool. You have some generic specifications, fuel system, lubrication, the cooling systems, tuning torques, flywheel, connecting rod. You can have the order, and also if you have to apply force or angle, we're gonna tell you that information. Okay, super useful. It's not diagnostics, technical information. That's why we say that we outperform many of the OEM tools, because we're capable of offering this information within the software and related diagnostics and technical information, vice versa, diagnostics and the management tool, or diagnostics and customer support. Okay, let's exit. Let me go to, for example, jet ski. Okay, let's go to a Sea-Doo. Let's select a GTI for tech, multi-systems. Okay, all systems. It's not just the engine. You have the brake management and reverse gate system. So if you want to do your gate calibration, instrument cluster, multifunction electronic system. I'm gonna access the engine. Same process. Where's the connector location? Another picture, we have the pinout details and the connectors you need. Okay, you click connect. Same thing, we have done inboard, outboard. Now we have done a jet ski. Same thing, we have reading faults, operation data, live data. We can activate components, do your system checks, change your parameters. You can do key recordings. That's a key functionality on jet skis. Same thing, step 1, all your information you need in order to do this functionality. Now you click check. You have option 2, and then you have the way of doing everything. Memorize the key, clear the ignition key, clear all the ignition keys. If you have doubts, you can click the question mark and you go back to step 1. As you may know, on jet skis you have 3 types of modes. You have normal, learning, and rental. Depending on what you select, you will have some speed restrictions or not. It tells you step by step what to do, so it's very simple. On Yamaha and Kawasaki, you have to do it manually, but we provide you the technical releases in order to do it, and also that little plug cover in order to do the key recordings. Okay, so we disconnect, and for example, let's go last but not least, stationary engines. Fantastic model. We have a lot of customers that they use it for, genset, compressors, hydraulic pumps, water pumps. Let's select, for example, a Caterpillar. We can go to a C6.6. Again, multi-systems. Why? Because, well, here it depends on the communication protocol. We have CDL and your 1939, but we have the after treatment system, but we also have the electric power generation system. Okay, so it's not just the stationary engine, it's also the genset. Okay, you can click and see all your functionalities. Let me click into the engine. I will click connect. Same process, connector, pinout, cables you need. You have option 2. You know that Caterpillar also uses this cable, and you click connect. Okay, so we have the same thing: read focus, clear focus, system data. Okay, here we have the ECM ratings. Okay, so in some brands and models you see that operation data menu, and in some others you have to find it inside system data. Live data, we have the system checks, and also we have the parameters changing, for modify your your codes, injector coding, injector exchange, etc. Okay, data recorder, same thing, same concept. That's what I want to show. 4 different brands and models in those 4 different menus. Let's go into the GRP. This is the garage resource planning, our management tool. You don't need to have internet at, when you're doing your job. You don't need it. If you don't have at that moment, you can just go back to your shop or to your place, and when you access the GRP, it's going to ask you to synchronize with the GRP. Okay, so you can do it, and then it's going to be saved on the cloud, again, for free. Fantastic tool. We can create customer list. Okay, you can then create different vessels or machines inside that specific customer. You have your contact details. Okay, you have a webinar, actually 1-hour webinar just about GRP, super useful. Vehicle vessel list, and if you have not only marine but other projects on the same tool, you can have the model where you are, model, license plate, VIN, serial number, customer. It's super important to add all this information, so then you can filter and retrieve that information very fast. Now report, you can access all your diagnostic reports and maintenance reports and your work order reports. Okay, that's why I'm saying it's so important to put all the information, because right now this is super easy to retrieve all the information, but all this is going to be difficult. Yeah, we have the name and we have the date, and that's why we need to add all this information. Okay, workshop management. Here we have work orders. We can assign work orders, and we can create different tasks inside the work orders. Okay, again, if you want to get more knowledge on the GRP, check our GRP webinar. This is the task. Okay, workshop time reports. You can just retrieve it by user or by vehicle vessel. In tool use history, you will know who's using the tool, when, for what type of machine, model, start and end time. Okay, now let's go to my task. Okay, when somebody is sending you a task, you will receive it here. You will see the name of the task, you can see the status, the priority, then for what type of vessel, date, We can even record the time that you're spending for each task. Okay. Reception, as when you're in a shop or in a company, maybe you have somebody working on the shop, the other one on reception and other one in the office. As you can install the software in up to 3 devices, you can install it in those 3 laptops, and as you can share the information on the cloud for free, it's great. In reception, you don't have to get involved in the shop, but you can use it only for the management tool. So you can create your reception forms, and they will be available on the workshop management, so somebody else, if they want to assign work orders or anything, they can use that form. Last, human resources. From here's where we can create the different users and type of users. Depending on the type of user, you have more or less restrictions or rights. Okay. Again, check the webinar about the GRP to know exactly what you can do with one type of users or the other. Okay, so last thing, Jaltest is 4 things: advanced diagnostics, technical information, the management tool, and of course the customer support. You can contact us by phone, by email. We can also do remote assistance, and if you want to contact the engineering department directly, you can use the Jaltest feedback, not only for problems but also for suggestions or information. Okay, so this is something great about our company. We're very serious about customer support, and you need to be supported. You're gonna have situations and you need to solve them as soon as possible so you get your job done. Okay, so this was a short demonstration. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want to see more vlogs or webinars, you can check our YouTube channel. If you have some specific questions, you can contact us directly and we'll be happy to answer you all that. Okay, so thank you very much.